Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So the thing that we expected to happen has finally happened when it comes to this SJSU story. We know there's currently a court case going on with the Mountain West Conference, and there are about 12 plaintiffs, including Melissa Batie-Smoose, the associate head coach of SJSU. But unfortunately, she has now been permanently terminated from that position.
The team at the center of it all, San Jose State University, which is now struggling after a controversy-riddled season. Several teams refused to play against SJSU over a biological male athlete competing on their squad. Now the team is facing a mass exodus. 7 volleyball players have entered the transfer portal. Several players have also sued the conference and the university, claiming they were forced to compete against a biological male without even being informed about it. The team's assistant head coach, who was suspended last month, said this.
To me, it's like common sense. There should not be biological men playing in women's sports. So proud of those young women to stand up for what they believe in when they're also being silenced by the Mountain West, and they're holding, their scholarships and things over their head. I think that is amazing. That's what we need. We need everybody to stand up and make sure that this does not continue.
She was originally suspended until further notice, and even back then, Brooke Slusser said that she believes it's just a nice way of saying that they have let her go. And it did seem unlikely that she would be reinstated in her position, because she filed a complaint against the school for violations of Title IX, and she's involved in a lawsuit against the Mountain West Conference. So it did seem unlikely that she would be reinstated, and the school's having issues at the moment as multiple volleyball players have transferred to other schools and want nothing to do with this. So Melissa Batie-Smoose, she has spoken out since finding out that she has been fired from her position, and I'm going to react to the interview she did. So the suspension basically became indefinite as of Saturday. That's when the news broke. The SJSU players were informed prior to the team's match against New Mexico, and many of the team members were emotional upon learning of the news, according to sources. San Jose State said in a statement to Outkick, the associate head coach of the San Jose State University women's volleyball team is not with the team at this time, and we will not provide further information on this matter. The associate head coach not only filed a complaint, but spoke to an outlet about the toxic culture created by having transgender player Blair Fleming on the team. As a result of that interview, San Jose State issued a statement to Outkick. At the time they said, San Jose State takes all reports and complaints seriously and is reviewing them. Due to federal and state privacy laws, the university is not able to comment on active reports or complaints. Remember, Melissa revealed that this transgender player was receiving special treatment, doing things and getting away with things that the female players would never get away with. This person was essentially chosen over a female volleyball player who ended up transferring to another school because she didn't get the scholarship that she was expecting, because the scholarship went to this person. And she also revealed that the fear that the female players were in, that she witnessed firsthand, because this person can spike the ball faster than the female players, this person can jump higher, this person is showing physical capabilities that are beyond that of the female volleyball players because this person is male.
The height that the person can jump is so much higher, and honestly higher for a man. It's insane. And then the strength behind the ball when they're swinging is also just so much more powerful. There's many times for multiple people all the time that we're having to try and dodge the balls that are coming straight at our face. And I've been hit multiple times by the balls, and I've had bruising on my legs just from trying to dodge it, and it catches my thigh, and I've had a bruise on my thigh for weeks.
And the female players made it clear that she was the only one who supported them in the entire school. She was the only one who stood up for them and actually heard what they had to say and actually listened to their concerns. So they were devastated when she was suspended initially. And now she's finally been removed from the position permanently. So the university said that there were some inaccuracies in the initial reports. They couldn't comment on those in light of the privacy laws. And remember, The school are even yet to confirm that the transgender player is in fact transgender and is in fact male. They're still going by this privacy and, we cannot deny or confirm. But in court, the judge even said that let's just stop playing semantics. I think it's obvious that this person is male and we can refer to this person as being transgender. Unfortunately, the girls, they lost their injunction to get the records changed, to get the results changed. In terms of those teams that were to qualify for the Mountain West tournament, they were unsuccessful with that. Or SJSU ended up not qualifying anyway.
When does this actually affect change? We saw a judge last week choose not to stop San Jose State from playing with a male player. So is it going to take everybody? Is it going to take the Colorado States and San Diego States and then on into the NCAA tournament as well? I'm wondering what you think is the pressure point that actually will get everyone to stand up and make a change.
I don't know what that pressure point is, but I just know that if there are teams and women who believe that this is not right, we should be heard.
I remember there was the story about the plot to hurt Brooke, that two players conspired together for, I believe it was Malaya Jones to spike the ball and for Fleming to not block.
Now walk us very quickly through the details of what seems like you're alleging is a setup by the transgender player to injure you?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I didn't find out about this information until after the game had happened. But after finding out that they basically planned to give each other their scouting reports and leave the block down so that the ball could easily be swung at me during a game, was astonishing to me to find that information out. It was incredibly insane.
Well, what, just to get back at you, or what they betting on the game? Like, what's the rationale here?
Yeah, they just both were very angry that I had decided to join the lawsuit with Riley Gaines and Icons, and basically decided that they wanted to not block the cross ball, which means the other team would have open court to swing towards me, and giving the other player the opportunity to basically slam the ball as hard as she could at me, with the player leaving the block wide open.
So they were believed to have met on October 3, the complaint says, and Batie-Smoose says that Fleming and a teammate left the team hotel, a violation of team policy, the night before the match to visit Jones at her residence. During this meeting, Fleming allegedly gave Jones scouting reports for San Jose State and made a deal not to defend shots from Jones that would be hit towards Slusser. I remember Todd Crest said that the whole thing was a joke, that he never took it seriously. He never confirmed whether Blair Fleming broke the rules by leaving the hotel. All the while, Brooke Slusser wasn't even informed of this alleged plot. That all of this came out as a result of this Title IX complaint that was filed by Melissa Batie-Smoose. She's the one who really took up for these young women, for these female athletes. She appears to be the only one in that school who sought to hold SJSU and the Mountain West Conference accountable. So Melissa has really put her career on the line to look out for these athletes, to stand up for these female athletes when no one else would.
Yeah, I moved my family here 2 years ago across the country from Connecticut. And, this was never told to me in advance. And I was supposed to continue to recruit new student athletes and lie to their families. And as I'm building relationships with them and their parents, it's just been a long 2 years. Just standing up for what's right and making sure we're continuing to support women and women's sports.
Wow. So I remember from the complaint, they said that the staff wasn't even informed that this person was male. She wasn't even informed when she took the position, which is absolutely shocking. And don't even get me started on the fact that Brooke Slusser and the female athletes on the SJSU team were not even informed. So Brooke finds herself sharing a hotel room, accommodation with this person, not knowing that this person is male. And the school believes that this is justifiable because of privacy rules. You're not allowed to out somebody if they are transgender. You're not even allowed to acknowledge that they are, in fact, male. And that sounds wholly unethical to me. She traveled to San Jose to start a new life, to start a new job. Then she finds out that she's been embroiled in this situation. A female coach being forced to coach a team with a male player because they didn't even have the courtesy to inform her so she could make an informed decision about whether she wanted to take the role in the first place. I personally, as a woman who's against men competing in women's sports, wouldn't want to be put in that position unsuspectingly. That's not right. This should not be allowed in 2025. Now, to be fair, Todd Kress wasn't the one who appointed Fleming to the team. It was another coach who's gone off to another school now. But Todd Kress is all for it. He believes he's looking out for the disenfranchised, whereas Melissa is looking out for the female athletes because this is their sports. This is women's sports. It's a women's volleyball team. And in this situation, they are the ones who are being disenfranchised, being made to step aside to make way for a male player on the team, regardless of their safety, regardless of fairness.
Is what I stood up for, and now currently after 30 years in my career, have been let go.
So I want to play a clip from the co-captain of the team, Brooke Slusser, talked to Fox Digital earlier. Oh, it's a quote. So she said, you can't truly voice how you're feeling without them just trying to cover it up. With Melissa, you could voice how you felt, and you could comfort you and validate your feelings, and at least make you feel heard. So you really did wind up kind of in a position of being the only sane person in the situation.
And thank goodness they had her. Thank goodness they had her. Can you imagine? You're not even allowed to object. You're not even allowed to say, I think this is wrong. Because that would be bullying, harassment, outing somebody. Thankfully, someone with seniority actually stood out for their interests and they were able to say how they felt. Otherwise, a lot of people would go mad in that situation. I can't imagine. You have to pretend that this is okay. You have to pretend that you're okay with it. The fact that they put these young women through this is absolutely unforgivable. And for what? So that entitled male athletes can get their way? It's embarrassing. They should be embarrassed.
Yes, correct.
And obviously the students were, what's the most shocking part of all of this is the fact that normal adults aren't standing up for these. I mean, they're teenagers.
Yes. The people around them were not supporting them. The administration, the athletic department, the head coach were all protecting the male and pretty much gaslighting everybody involved. It was very, tough situation for all of them, very traumatic that what they had to go through. And it's unfortunate. They have 4 years to play collegiate volleyball and, their last 2 years were affected so much and not being able to play some of their matches. And
this could have all been avoided if the categories were actually honoured and respected. No one's saying that if you're a male athlete who identifies as a woman or whatever, you can't play. But you've got to be in the correct category, that's all. And I'm sorry, if you're not good enough to play in a category that aligns with your biological sex, then perhaps you shouldn't be playing at that level. It's very simple. Because we as female athletes, I say we, I'm not a female athlete anymore, but with female athletes, if you don't qualify, you don't qualify. You don't get to go and play with the elementary school kids. Everyone else who participates in sports has to play in the correct category. So why should certain groups get special treatment?
San Jose State says that they are unable to comment on the situation, but it looks like the Trump administration has decided to actually to reverse Joe Biden's twisting of the Title IX program to basically return common sense by enforcing the idea that Title IX applies to actual women. Step in the right direction, I think.
yes, it's a great first step in the right direction. Now we need to continue it, and it has to become the laws change and the NCAA make those changes necessary so that we save women's sports and that we continue to have women's sports.
Well, I think that the only reason there has been a return of some common sense is because of people like you standing up and saying this is insane and it can't go on. So we thank you very much for that, Melissa, and thank you for joining us.
So it's very disheartening to see a coach being treated this way. I hope she gets picked up by another school, a school that has common sense, a school that is sane, a school that knows what a woman is. I hope she gets picked up by another school very soon. And she's been coaching for 30 years and she finds herself in this situation. It's absolutely insane. Any school would be fortunate to have her. Any female athlete would be fortunate to have her as their coach. So I wish her all the best and I thank her for what she has done for women's sports. I'm sure those young girls are going to be grateful to her for the rest of their careers. When they look back on their time in college, unfortunately, a lot of it's going to be dealing with this horrible situation that they were put in unsuspectingly.
I feel like there's so many emotions that go into all of it, like anger, sadness, like regret, just like of all schools for me to end up at, why this one?
But at the same time, they're going to remember people who stood up for them, people who supported them, people who had common sense, people who were sane, the people who actually reassured them that they're not wrong for not wanting to play against a male, for not having a male on their team. They're not wrong for objecting to that. So I hope she's okay. I mean, to lose your job for simply standing up for your own athletes, it's very sad, it really is. But that school doesn't deserve her. They really don't. And I'm glad to hear that a lot of female athletes are transferring away from that school, saying we don't want anything to do with you, because you don't protect women. So let them deal with the consequences, because they're soon going to find out that most people aren't on board with this. People aren't going to support this, what they're doing. So if I hear anything else about Melissa's journey, where she's going career-wise, I will let you know. But I wish her all the best, especially in the court case that she's a part of. I'm going to be following that very closely, and we shall see how that all turns out. And let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Like, comment, and subscribe. And God willing, I will see you in the next video.